came out and said what she had to say on Piers Morgan. And obviously, if she made it all the way to Piers Morgan, it's because people believe what Jaguar Wright is saying holds some type of credibility. Obviously, it holds some credibility if now she's on Piers Morgan. He even wanted to bring her on his dang show. But this probably is not gonna help Jaguar Wright but they sent him a cease and desist, and they told him, we advise you take that interview down. I mean, but Jaguar Wright is always sitting on the blue couch on Real Life Productions, and I don't know if y'all ever gave Real Life Productions a cease and goddamn desist. Probably because Jaguar Wright is on there talking to all the niggas, and y'all really don't give a damn what niggas think about y'all, but y'all care about what these other folks think. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really think about it. Because she been on the blue couch for a while. This is where everybody... Let me see if I can go up and find her up here. Is she on the blue couch up here? Where's she at? Because I just seen her recently. Let me see. Because we're going to go back to Piers Morgan. Let me go ahead and... wait a minute. Let me see something real quick. Let me see. And when a person holds some type of power.
About Jay-Z.
When a person got power. Because obviously Jay-Z and Beyonce holds a lot of freaking power right now. But according to Sloan Bella, that power, they ain't going to have it in the next couple of years. That power is going to slowly freaking deplete. It's going to slowly freaking deplete. And if you have folks out here like Jaguar Wright running her mouth, you probably got some of these elitists and some of the folks that don't want to get taken down with them. So they would do everything they can to separate themselves from these people. And they may really start listening to Jaguar Wright and be like, this lady right here going to be a freaking problem, man. And it's like, people are really out here starting to believe this stuff. And we see like the Jay-Z videos, him talking about some do as thou wilt with the satanic mandate and all kinds of other stuff. And Beyonce be doing questionable stuff with these robots and all kind of other bullshit. And people are starting to realize what the symbolism, all this stuff is. And, because according to Sloan Bella, Jay-Z and Beyonce will be doing a Russell Simmons in the next couple of decades, maybe the next decade, and they will be leaving America. Allegedly, according to Sloan Bella, they will be leaving America. Because Sloan Bella be saying all kind of stuff too. The psychic that be on her page, and y'all ain't seen her a cease and desist, and she be saying all kind of stuff about it. She be saying all kind of stuff. She did a whole freaking video on freaking Jay-Z. She did a whole video on Jay-Z, Sloan Bella, and she said Jay-Z will be the next to be taken down. You know what I'm saying? So how all of these people out here talking, Jaguar Wright can go on all these different platforms and talk about you, but for whatever reason, it's a problem once they go on Piers Morgan. That's when it's a problem. That's when y'all want to send Piers Morgan a cease and desist, and you better take that interview down. That ain't even making no sense when it's like a 1,000 other freaking interviews out there with the same information. And actually, Piers Morgan he kept shutting Jaguar Wright down. He kept shutting her down. Like, listen, Beyonce, Jay-Z, they're not here, man, to defend themselves, blah, blah, blah. So she really didn't get to say what she be saying on Real Life Productions and all these other podcasts that she be out here on. So I'm not understanding. And why y'all ain't never seen Jaguar Wright a cease and desist directly? And according to what's his name? So Stormy, he was just on here talking about it or whatever. And Stormy Monroe, he was on here talking about it, and he basically is saying like, yeah, why haven't they sent Jaguar Wright a cease and desist? And he said that Jaguar Wright ain't hard to find because she was just on stage performing with somebody. At some event, she was hanging out with Rick Ross and a couple of other folks at some event, he said, just recently. So she ain't hard to find. And then she ain't hard to find because she always on that blue couch at Real Life Productions. Beyonce and Jay-Z can find out where Real Life Production Studios is and where they be having her on this blue couch. And they can have somebody serve her there on her way walking out the door. But it's like, he made a good point. Why ain't they? Something ain't right. Like, why is y'all only ceasing and desisting Piers Morgan? And this dude, I done seen this guy. This guy is the type of person, Piers Morgan, because one time my first interaction watching Piers Morgan, I did not like him because I ended up watching some documentary about these men in prison who was falsely incarcerated. And he supposedly was having a show or a documentary where he was supposed to be talking to the men and interviewing them about the fact that they were falsely incarcerated, they were innocent, and he was just very much just treating them like extremely insensitive. And I was like, how the hell he come bringing these people on the show? They supposed to be telling their truth, but then he keep downplaying their truth, or he was just being really mean. If y'all seen that documentary, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, he was just, and that was my first time ever seeing Piers Morgan, and I didn't like him because of that. I was like, nah, he's not my I don't like people that are just straight up insensitive. And if y'all ever see me being insensitive to somebody, it's because, trust me, I probably look at that person as being like a devil. I don't even see the human flesh that we see on the outside. They ain't always people. Like, people see Beyonce and it's like, oh, she's beautiful. You know, you want to praise her and all that other stuff. But how you know they ain't even a whole demented demonic spirit? And if you actually saw its true form, you probably be scared of shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
That's the thing about platforms. The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear.
Morgan told his audience, that's why we invited Wright on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine.
Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves. But now they have.
He continued, we had lawyers contact us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Morgan concluded.
No, y'all are liars. The devil is a lie, Piers Morgan. Is you a Christian? I don't even know, because the devil is a lie. At the end of the freaking day, the devil is a lie. The devil ain't gonna tell you the truth. The devil ain't gonna tell you the truth. And it seemed like, for whatever reason, maybe the devil feel like the devil can trick you and can fool you, because for whatever reason, like I said, they ain't coming on to these other platforms and they ain't giving these other platforms ceases and desists. So I don't know why they giving you a cease and desist, Piers Morgan. You should really be, I would be asking myself that, but I mean, he probably got scared and spooked and he got his platform and he don't want to lose his platform, his money. He probably got people to feed and stuff. And seeing that be the problem, like fear pushes us, because it's like, what is people's true motivation? Your motivation was to get views from off of Jaguar Wright, because you see how she's making all of these other pages and probably making all the other people freaking famous, and everybody's listening to what the heck she got to say. And he likes controversial stuff. He really does. He like controversial stuff, but he knew that he was getting a little bit more into some, and he knew about Jaguar Wright. How you don't research somebody before you had him on your show? She talk about Jay-Z more than she talk about anybody. So what makes you think she wasn't going to talk about Jay-Z? She talked about Diddler a lot. Yeah, she talked about Diddler a lot, but P. Diddy and Jay-Z are like one and the same. She talks about both of them a lot. She talk about everybody, but she talk about them two a lot. She keeps talking about it, because maybe sometimes the stuff that you have seen and the stuff that have been implanted into your freaking brain, you just cannot unsee it. And sometimes you don't have things video recorder. You can't even explain things. I mean, she probably do have videos and stuff that she could probably put out, but I mean, the platforms are going to take them down. So it's like, how much stuff do I post? I post all kinds of stuff and they be taking it down. So, you got, But I don't think he even really cares to even ask that question. But it's like, why are they coming after you, Piers, and not Real Life Productions? And I'm not trying to make them come after Real Life Productions or none of us, because even I'd be saying stuff about Jay-Z and Beyonce. But the stuff I have proof to back it up. I have the proof assist to back up the only parts that I be talking about, like him wearing the satanic mandate and her imitating that robot off of Metropolis, which was very much a demonic robot. And it's just like, why are y'all imitating this stuff if you're not a part of Satanism? Now, I don't know.
Concluded his message with a direct apology.
Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. We apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce.
So it's like, you done had some stuff come across your desk. You know what these elitists be out here doing. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you had somebody like Jaguar Wright on your show, sometimes some people like to subliminally do stuff. He probably knew he was going to get a cease and desist, but people already heard what Jaguar Wright said. So they already heard it. And then most of us have it in clips, and we have it in other. Once something hits the internet, it's always on the internet. So he can take down his video, but how many of us have made clips, and those clips are still going around? So now he's become a blog story. Piers Morgan, you done became a damn blog story, because they didn't shut you up, but they didn't actually shut up the person that was talking about them. So let's see let's see what Jaguar Wright has had to say since this.
Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z. The proof is there.
She said Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z.
When you put it together, become a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and the taste is undeniable.
You saying Diddy and Jay-Z is peanut butter jelly?
Peanut butter and jelly. Let's deal with the sandwich.
I mean, Piers Morgan said it. They're not here to defend themselves. Do you think the Carters will speak about any of this at all? Do you just feel that they'll make any statement about
Beyonce
what's going on?
is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day. And she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say something?
And I'm sorry, that's the best way to get to somebody too, to egg them. Just egg a person, don't even answer them, don't even pay no attention. Don't even act like they even freaking exist, or what are they saying even exists. Or what they saying even exists. Like, Jay-Z and Beyonce is very much good at that. Like, girl, you's a minion. All of y'all is below us. We're not speaking to y'all. We're not giving y'all no explanation. And honestly, if I was Beyonce and Jay-Z with the type, you probably, what are you going to come out and say? Like, Beyonce barely can articulate her words when she do talk. So it's kind of like, what? When it comes to talking about something like this, like, it's like, what? Because honestly, it's like, is it even worth it to be going back and forth with Jaguar Wright online? Yeah, I mean, the best thing would probably be to just send a cease and desist, but it's like, y'all ain't sent it to her yet, so I'm trying to figure this out. But this obviously happened, and maybe they edited and all that, and they just put it out a couple of hours ago. Because they're asking on here, do you think they're going to say anything?
I mean, probably not, considering she's going to be indicted for anything she would say. You know, there were so many people that hacked into so many of my accounts. People didn't even know how to get in touch with me anymore. And Odell created that lane. And they reached out to him. Piers Morgan's producers called him directly. Morgan is a smart prey. And not only is he smart prey, he is a great conductor of information. And I want to thank you for that. Because if my word is good enough to make it through Piers Morgan's firewall of please don't sue me, then I guess he just vetted me for every ounce of real life content on this blue couch.
And she just freaking, this lady, just Jaguar Wright, spiritual too, but she's a Pisces. That's what people ain't understanding. Pisces are extremely intuitive. Pisces are extremely intuitive. They are the most, well, one of the most psychic. According to Sloan Bella, who is very heavily in astrology, she says Virgo, people that have Virgo signs, Virgo people are heavily psychic too. So Beyonce could be seeing a lot of stuff that, and then especially if she's dabbling in the spiritual stuff, she's seeing stuff and she's probably trying to block stuff as it happens. But eventually it's going to get to the point where it's going to be so much stuff coming to you to the point where you're going to have to take some type of accountability. That's just how I think the universe and everything will end up eventually working. It will still come back around in a circle 10 times fold. And it will come back and you will still have to, you will get to a point where you might have to address it. Especially if you've done a lot of stuff and hurt a lot of souls and hurt a lot of spirits out here. You know. But yeah, I think it's just funny that Jaguar Wright just called it out right before the cease and desist came out. She said if everything that I'm saying can make it through the firewall of possible, you know, them being sued or, you know, whatever, then and Piers Morgan, they allow this interview to fly through, then you just vindicated me for everything that I've already been saying, everything that I've been putting out to the world. But now we see, since the cease and desist came out, and this is more so on a legal situation, so he's like, nah, you know, I got to protect my production, I got to protect everything, but this video definitely gonna go in the archives, and it's probably gonna come out again one day. Piers Morgan may be able, if he's still living, when the takedown of Jay-Z end up happening, he can end up probably putting this video right back out again. You know, putting it back out and be like, listen, we did have Jaguar Wright on here and she said what she said, yeah, but I had to go and follow the legal suit. But now we see that everything she was saying was actually true. You know, I guess that's going to have to also come to fruition, because it's like, to me, history repeats itself and it's the same thing. She was talking about Diddy for years. Nobody wanted to hear it. And now all of a sudden we see how bad it actually is. Now with the Jay-Z situation, it might be the same thing, you know, but right now everybody is doing what they were doing in the beginning with Diddy. No, she lying. She need to stop talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce, blah, blah, blah. But people that really have an eye and have a discernment, have an eye and have a discernment. And like I said, in order for you to beat your enemy, you need to know what your enemy about. And me personally, I started to pray, and as I prayed, I was guided to, and I started looking into Satanism, looking into their rituals, looking into their symbolism, looking into all of that stuff. So guess what? When I see them doing that stuff on TV, I already know what I'm looking at, because I've built up my own discernment. I've built up my own wisdom. I've prayed and everything else. I've asked for protection while I'm investigating this stuff, because like I said, in order for you, your enemy can pull so many veils over your eyes and can distract you in so many ways and can be pushing you in directions that they want to push you in if you don't even know, if you're ignorant. And I always tell people, God will not save you from your own ignorance. If you jump out of an airplane without a parachute, God is going to allow you to hit the freaking ground.
We thank you for that.
Do you feel that Piers Morgan allowed you to get, because you only have so many minutes. I know you don't know exactly how the show's going to be structured.
Yeah. I'll never have enough to say. Right. There will never be enough screen time for me to say. But what I will say is, I'm grateful for the questions he asked. I'm grateful for the time he gave me to answer. And I pray that I was able to hit everything that needed to be hit for the public.
Damn.
Let's be very clear. This is the email that DJ Vlad sent me, his producer sent me, asking me to appear on his podcast on YouTube just after the Cassie video was released on my birthday. I never responded. Odell responded.
To be continued, y'all. We're going to see if Jag going to talk more about Jay-Z and Beyonce after Piers Morgan was hit with the cease and desist. Maybe there is one for her. Finally, I mean, it's like they like, okay, now she getting a little too big. Maybe they thought, oh, she a little small, everybody calling her crazy, whatever, blah, but now all of a sudden, Jay-Z and Beyonce wants to start hitting people with cease and desist, like, stop talking about us. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.